Waiting to see if I'm actually live. It says I'm live, but I'm waiting to see on my, there it is. So I'm waiting to see, I was waiting to see on my confidence monitor, which is an iPad, whether I was actually live or not. And I think there's a latency of about, 20 seconds. So I can say something and 20 seconds later, you can hear it, which means I'm time traveling. I'm Bill McConnell. I've just revived my YouTube channel after taking a year off, and I plan to go live every week talking about YouTube, talking about growing a YouTube channel, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I stopped a year ago. I stopped for a year and just jumped back into it, and I'm kind of diving all in, just completely all in. To YouTube. I post very little on anything else. If I post anything at all, it's like anniversary wishes or birthday wishes or something on Facebook, and look on a few things there, but I'm not on Facebook that much anymore. You can get lost on Facebook. Excuse me. At least I can get lost on Facebook. Maybe you can't. Maybe you've got it down. Oddly enough, when I shave, which is it's an event for me, but when I shave, I turn on Instagram Reels, and that's about the only time I'm on Instagram. And on Instagram Reels, what seems to come through for me is just a lot of funny, stupid things, and very lighthearted, and that's kind of what I do. But that's it. I've kind of gone all in on YouTube. My idea is to be on YouTube and post 2 to 3 videos a week, and eventually I'm going to go live every week at hopefully the same time. I'm trying to work out a schedule. My schedule is very up in the air. If my daughter needs me to babysit my new granddaughter, then I'm going to babysit my new granddaughter. That's just what I'm going to do. But the better thing is, if I start doing this every week, with the exception of next week, because I don't know. Maybe I can do it next week. I'll have to try it and do it remote, because I'm going to be in a hotel in San Diego next week, which means 7:30 in the morning, not 8:30. But I ramble, which is something that I tend to do, and so and just so you know, if you start watching my videos and every now and then you see me inadvertently clearing my throat and all this kind of stuff, I could use that as an excuse not to do any of this, because I have a reactive airway and I have a sinus condition. And the sinus condition triggers the reactive airway. Thank you very much for that. And am I whining? No, not really. Not really whining. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. But I could use that as an excuse not to do videos. I could use it as an excuse not to go live. And I want to urge you guys to not worry about that. Just come on and be you. Don't apologize. Maybe you need to explain it like I did. I don't know. Maybe I didn't even need to explain it. But yeah. So what I've got today is I've got a 10-point, a live stream checklist. In case you're wanting to actually live stream like me, I've got a live stream checklist that I'm going to go through. And what I'd rather do is have people show up and drop comments and ask questions. And if you show up and ask questions, well, then I can do this. I can welcome you to the live stream. I actually did a video that you'll find on the channel that explains how to make this in free software. On if you have a Mac, you can probably do it. I did it in Keynote, but you can. My guess is you can make the exact same thing in PowerPoint, which is not free software. So you could do that. So I just made this so that I could welcome people. I'm in Colorado. And so the Rocket, I own a Jeep, not an old white one. I own a 2004 red Rubicon that I just got in the spring. I had a 97. I was able to sell the 97 and buy a 2004. I'm really stepping up in the world. I'm only 21 years behind in vehicles, and I'm okay with that because the price was right, I assure you. But I'm going to look at a 10 point 10 points for you to get ready to go live yourself on YouTube primarily. And I'm using Ecamm software. And Ecamm software kind of looks like this. All kinds of different things going on. All kinds of different controls, different cameras. I have 3 cameras set up right now. I'll share one of them, maybe. But I have control over all of these different things. And this is what I use. And this isn't free. You can get a 2-week free trial. And if you use my affiliate link, you can get a 2-week free trial. And it is Mac only. So I work off of the Mac platform, or the hardware. I got a laptop, I got a desktop, I got all this kind of stuff. And you don't need that to go live. All you need is just the computer that you've got, maybe a good mic because you want people to hear you. So I've got a middle of the road mic. It wasn't real cheap, but you can get $600, $700, $800 microphones, and I'm thinking, why? I'm not doing music. I'm not singing. You don't want me to do either of those things online. Trust me when I tell you that. But you just need your laptop and a microphone, and I would suggest a better camera than the one on your laptop. But don't let that stop you. You can use your phone as a camera and go live using your phone as a camera if you can hook it up to your laptop, which shouldn't be hard these days. You can go live on YouTube just on your phone, but you have to have, there's some certain restrictions or prerequisites to that. You have to have so many followers and a few other things like that. But let's start with the checklist. So you're going live, and let me get rid of that there. Let's go back to here. So I'm using Ecamm software, Ecamm, and the first thing you want to do is you want to confirm that you can go live. Confirm your settings. You can go to YouTube if you don't have any software at all. You just want to do it straight through YouTube. You can go to YouTube Studio, and then there's an option to go live, and then you pick all the different things. You have to have a camera that's hooked up to it. If you're on a laptop, then your camera's all automatically hooked up to it. And they suggest that you have streaming software, which is what Ecamm is. It is streaming software, and it is software where you can just record. And that's how I do all of my YouTube videos. I use Ecamm for just about everything. But you can do it on OBS. OBS is free software that does basically the same thing. It's a little harder to learn. It's a little more quirky. It's open software. So you can get OBS, something other than Ecamm if you're not on. Ecamm is software that you download to your computer. And so I can work with it offline. I'm not streaming because I'm offline, but I can work with it offline. You can get a streaming service called StreamYard, which works with any computer, whether it's PC or Mac. If you're not on a Mac, but you can use StreamYard and stream live. Don't you love it? You can do StreamYard and jump through like that. And that is a service, but it's an online service, so you better have a pretty good connection. So the number one thing is just confirm that you have settings, you have what you've got to do it, and check your bit rate, your speed. So I've got I took a quick picture of my speed, and I'll touch on this in a minute. But this is just going to pop up on screen. And it says I need 15.1 megabits to to stream. That's what I need. And do you guys see that? Yes, you do. Okay. Like I said, I'm 20 seconds behind. So if I look down here, I'm looking at my confidence monitor and seeing if that is, and seeing if that does work. So what I have, I'm going to make that bigger. What I have is my speed results, and I've got 508.7 megabits. I'm just screaming. I use a fiber optic, and I'm connected right into my, I'm hardwired. My computer's hardwired into the router. So I'm not relying on Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi can be sketchy at times. But there's that. So you've confirmed that you can go live, and 2 weeks ago I did a test going live. So that's number one. Confirm that you can go live and whatever you may need to go live. Second is prep your thumbnail, title, and description. Now you saw my title, or my thumbnail. I'll just pop it on here. You saw that if you were waiting. And if you weren't waiting, or you're watching this later on, that's what I had. So if you popped onto my channel and it was 5 minutes early and went to the live to see if I was going to be live, this is what you'd see. Live stream about YouTube, and me out in my backyard in a lounge chair with a hat on, and clearly wearing my sunglasses not the right way. So number one is confirm your stream key. Number two is prep your thumbnail, your title, and your description. So I already did that, already gone live. Make sure that your thumbnail is eye-catching. I guess my thumbnail was eye-catching. But before you go live, regardless of what you're on, before you go live, YouTube requires you to put in, and you don't necessarily need a thumbnail, but you want one. But you're going to need a title. What's the title of this thing? And you're going to need a short description, which is what I did. I went short. So prep your thumbnail, get your title and description. Basically, you're saying, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about, which is what I'm doing. Number three is check your internet connection. Use a wired connection if possible. Minimum speed for what you want is 5 megabits per second. Now, because I'm using other software, it's requiring me to have a little more. I showed you that I needed, what it told me I needed was 15. And that's fine, because I had 500. I think I met the minimum and then some. And then run a speed test. And if you're not sure how fast yours is running, you can just go online and type in the search speed test. And use the very first link that pops up. It's just a basic speed test, and click it. And it will check your upload speed and your download speed. Your download speed doesn't matter, because when you're streaming, you're the one that's uploading it to the world. Woo! The whole thing. So run a speed test, check your internet connection, and just make sure that you can do that. Now set up your equipment. Make sure that you've got a camera. I overdid myself. I've got 3 cameras. Let me just show you what 3 cameras looks. Well, 2 cameras anyway. Here's a back view of me and all of my lights. And I've got 2 monitors, and I've got a teleprompter. My teleprompter, right behind the teleprompter, is my camera, and that's why I'm able to look right at you and not lose track of stuff. I'm not reading word for word off of the teleprompter because, I mean, you could, and I have done it that way before when I'm doing monologue stuff at the first end of a video, just so I don't mess it up. But yeah, just make sure that all your equipment is working. Clean lens, check the angles. So I've got a camera there. I actually have a camera right here that I won't use today, but I've got a camera behind me hanging down off the wall. My wife just loves the stuff that I do to my room here. I'm just thankful that I have a wife that lets me do stuff to a room. This is my room. It's my little man cave. It's my studio. It's whatever you want to call it. But you want to check that. You want to check your microphone. I got a microphone going on right here. And I've got it on a wire. And some of you might be thinking right after that, do I need all this stuff? No. You need a computer and an internet connection to go live. That's really all you need. And a way to go live, whether it's OBS or whatever else. I'm actually going to test to see if I can go live just using YouTube and not using anything else, not using any of the other software, and see how that goes. I'm not sure if I can do it yet. That's why I want to try it. So set up your equipment. Make sure your mic is working. Let me go back and let me show you this again. Way down here on the bottom toward the right, or toward the left. Toward the left is I've got sound levels where you can see a green bar going up and down. That's my microphone, and I'm checking the sound levels. When I play a sound effect or a movie, or if I have an interview guest on, or if I have a Zoom guest, Ecamm is integrated with Zoom. And so every time I go into Zoom, I'm going into Zoom through Ecamm. So it's got a level down there. So if I have Zoom guests, I can have Zoom guests on. And that's where I see my sound levels. So I make sure that it's good, and it's adjustable like anything else, just about. Let's go back to here. So make sure that you've got, a mic and camera. And because you're actually doing something, you actually want to have some light. You saw some of the lights that I've got going on. This can be a very dark room. If I open the window, then you see the window right here. These are curtains. You see the window, and I think that's a distraction, so I close it. I get a little better backlight, but I have it closed, and use headphones to avoid audio feedback. So in other words, if I'm playing something on the video or on the live stream, and it has sound, it comes out through the speaker. And then it goes back in through the microphone. But you're also hearing it through the software, and then you get feedback. And I think that's how it works in the simplest terms possible. But set up your equipment. Just make sure it's right. Run some tests. Go live. Going live, guess what? The first time you go live, there's a very good chance nobody's watching. I'm not even sure if anybody's watching this, but I'm going to keep doing it every week. And this is pretty good. This is a good setup. So fourth is set up your equipment. Fifth is launch and test your streaming software. In other words, run a test. Make sure that your stuff is working. Make sure that your audio is good and your quality. Run a test. When you're switching screens, make sure that it works. Just figure out all that stuff. Now, when you do live stream, guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed, stuff will go wrong. It just will. And that's okay. It's live. It's real. If you're stuck in the idea of, hey, I want this to be perfect, you may never start. You may never start, because perfection is just an excuse not to do something. If I can't do it perfectly, I don't want to look like a fool on camera. Well, here I am. I don't care. Launch and test. Get things to work as good as possible, and then roll with it. And if you press the wrong button, or if you do something that goes wonky, if you suddenly sneeze while you're on live, you sneeze. People sneeze or cough or have a throat condition or whatever the case may be. Just make sure things are working. That's number 5. Just test your software. I tested this software several times. Made sure that this worked. Excuse me. All those things. So that's 5, halfway through. 6, turn off distractions. Silence notifications. Silence your phone. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Close the door. I make sure the dog's outside, because sometimes the dog just wants to come in and get my attention, and that distracts me. And if I'm distracted, you're distracted. So turn off the distractions. I can actually use my phone, because of Ecamm software. I can actually use my phone as a camera, and it connects wirelessly. But I wouldn't do a full live stream using it wirelessly, because you don't want to trust a wireless connection if possible. Now, if you're if you're streaming from a room like I'm doing, and your Wi-Fi is on the other side of the house, well, you can run a really long wire out, down the hall. For me, it would be out and down the hall and down the stairs. My wife would kill me if I started doing stuff like that every time I wanted to do something like this. But I found a way to bring my router, and it sits in the corner of the desk. It sits right there. There. That's my router. So I'm wired in, and my computer is just right over here. You can't see it. It's behind the screen. So that's where I've got that. So I made it easy so that I was connected. So turn off the distractions. So it's just you and me, 2 of us, 5 of us, the 25 of us, the 100 of us, depending upon how many. And 7 is load your show notes and run a show. In other words, have a plan. Have a plan. This was my plan. This was my plan. This is what I wanted to do. And I've already run into a glitch because I have this up as a PDF, but, oh, there it is. It went to page 2. Yay. Went to page 2. Good. It wasn't going to page 2. And I got just a little bit, I can't remember the last 3, but that's why I have it up here, but I also have a backup. So got my backup. But right now I've got it. So number 2 is engage chat tools and have a moderator. You don't really need a moderator. Now, if you have 150 people watching, at this point, you probably would like to have a moderator because you want to watch comments coming in. So right now, nobody's watching. And I'm okay with that because it's going to, over time, if I do this every week, over time, people will start to watch. And I'm convinced of this. But the key here, especially on YouTube, the key is consistency, that you post so many videos a week or you go live every week. Some people go live every day and good for them. But I'm going to start by going every week and doing this until things start to catch on. But engage your tools and monitors. Now, because I have a confidence monitor, I'm actually watching myself down here on my iPad. And so if I were to drop in a comment, it would show up in maybe 20 seconds. Not sure. There it is. And because of the software that I'm using, I can do this. I can show the comment. Me, yo, from Colorado. I am from Colorado, and that is me. And I can actually adjust how that looks. And I can center it up. And then once I do that, the next time, it'll show up exactly the same way. And I'm able to pop it on and automatically have it drop off after 20 seconds, I think it is. Or I can automatically just drop it off. So engage your chat tools. And if you have a chat or if you start doing live streams and you start to have people join in and start chatting, you can pop those chats up. Hey, you got a question? Boom, here's the question. You can put it up on screen. And so you can engage the chat tool. Make sure if you got a bazillion people watching you, maybe a moderator is good. But right now, I am the moderator. And when you're just starting out, you don't need a moderator. But you want to make sure that chat works and all those kind of things. Number 9 is you hit live and you do it. You go. And realize that there's a buffer. There's a buffer going on. Probably the next time I do it, I'm going to create a live buffer that says live in 3 minutes, and it'll count down. And I'm actually live. It's just something I have on screen where I can, after 3 minutes, I know that I'm actually going live instead of what I did at the first of this, which was, am I live? Am I live? What am I doing? So hit go live and just go for it. Okay? And do what I didn't do at the start of this. Start with something that's going to catch people's attention and not, hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test. Can you see me? Don't do that. I actually did that at the first of this because I just said, I'm going live at 8:30 Mountain Time, and that's when it's going to go. So number 9 is hit live. And number 10 is after the stream. Thank the audience. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. End the stream in your software first and then on YouTube. Well, because I'm using Ecamm, the one triggers the other. I just stop it on Ecamm, and it'll cut everything else. And then watch and this is what everybody skips. When you're done, watch your own replay. And don't just watch 10, 15 seconds of it. Watch your own replay and write down stuff. How can I do better next time? Next time, I'll have a better opening line. Good for me. Next time, I'll do that. Next time, I'll do, and make a list. Just make a list. And there's just a quick 10-point outline of how you can go live with or without Ecamm. Ecamm makes it a whole lot easier. And you may be thinking, Bill, you're really pumping the Ecamm. Well, it's because I'm using it. Because I can do stuff like this. Hey, I'm live. I am. Or I can do stuff like this. And I was really hoping that somebody would jump on and be with us, and I could do this. And give you the welcome wagon, the welcome Jeep. Woo! Going across the Rockies. I've had my Jeep up in the Rockies on some trails that Hondas would never go in. You wouldn't want Hondas close to where we were. And so much fun. But I'm going to end it with this. I have been live for just under half an hour, and I think that's a good start. If you want the checklist, just scrub through the video that was live, that I'm doing right now, and write down those 10 things. Let me see if I can give them to you one more time. Confirm that your live stream, that you actually will go live. Basically, either with your software or otherwise. Do a test live before going live for the first time. That's what I did. Get ready, prep your thumbnail. Be sure you have a title, a description, and what you're actually going to talk about, like a 10-step checklist. Check your internet connection to make sure that you've got internet that's fast enough to handle it, because if it's not fast enough to handle it, it'll stop, it'll buffer, it'll have all kinds of little issues. Set up your equipment. You don't need all this stuff that I've got. You just need you and your laptop to do it, just to start. That's all you need. You can start spending money later if that's what you want to do. I was a bit crazy. I have TSA, technology separation anxiety. I love I love my technology around me, and I love all this stuff. Some people call it gear acquisition syndrome. I have that as well. I have gas on several levels, but that's one of them. We won't talk about the other levels, but launch and test your streamware, software, stuff, whatever it is you're using. Turn off your distractions. At 6, 7 is load your show notes and run a show. In other words, just know what you're going to talk about, and if you get lost. And it's okay to go, wait a sec, what's number 8? It's okay to do that. You're live. People get it. And you're more human. Like I said, if you want to be polished and perfect, you may never do this. 8. There it is. 8 is engage the chat tool, watch the chat tools. Like I said, I'm watching myself on an iPad. You can actually turn the volume off and watch it on your phone and use that as what they call a confidence monitor. You could do that. 9 is just hit go live and just do it. Just do it. All the mistakes, all the goofs, doesn't matter. Just do it. And then when you're done, thank the audience. Hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. See you next week. Just do that. And, because the audience is what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for your own, for your own ego, whatever. You're doing it because you have something you want to tell people, and you hope people will watch. So hit live, go for it, and afterwards thank the audience at the end the stream, and then watch it yourself and write down things. Well, next time I'm doing this, and next time I'm doing this. In other words, you want to get just a little bit better every time you do it. The very first time I did this 2 weeks ago, guess what it was? It was 2 weeks ago. And it was a test. I didn't have an agenda. I just said, I want to see if this is working. And this time I said, okay, let's just do it. Give you something that I feel is of value, and then go from there. So I'm going to improve a little bit every week. Excuse me. And that's the goal. Improve a little bit every week. Just a little bit better every week. Will you be perfect? Never. Don't worry about it. Live with the mistakes. It's okay. That's all I got. So I will say I don't have a goodbye. I don't have a goodbye button yet. So I'll just say once again, welcome. And if I go live next week, I'll be in a hotel room, and yeah, we'll just see how that works. It might be later in the day. I don't know. We'll see. But I can ramble on for another 10 minutes. I probably shouldn't do that. So I'm going to kill it right now. By kill it, I mean I'm going to stop. And we'll see you next week or in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for sure, but next week, we'll see. We'll just see how it works. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Take care. Be safe. Don't forget, I'm Bill. Who are you?